Well, hi there, y'all. My name is Olive, and I'm the pop culture opossum. And I'm here with Jumpin Jamie
Hey
and
everybody,
Bouncing
and Bouncing Birdie. So we have Olive, the pop culture opossum, Bouncing Birdie, and I'm Jumpin Jamie. And today we're going to talk about the Bad Batch. Welcome to Pop Culture Opossum, the Force a Weekend, and we are going to discuss episode 3 of the Bad Batch. So we watched episodes 1 and 2 last week. And we didn't get to do a video because I was away working, but today we watched episode 3 all together, and we're going to talk about a little bit about what we thought about it, what we think will happen in the future, and some of our favorites from the past 2 episodes. So let's start with that first. So Olive, I want to know who has been your favorite character so far out of the
hmm,
3 episodes that you've seen.
that's really hard. I really like Omega and Wrecker.
Oh, Omega and Wrecker are
Yeah, they're
definitely
my two
favorites.
favorites.
Yeah, those are my two
Yours
favorites.
too?
What do you
Yeah.
like about Wrecker, Bouncing Birdie?
He's very funny.
He's
He
funny.
is funny.
And I like him saying, I like to blow things out.
Oh
he,
yeah,
he
that's
likes
so
to blow
funny.
things up. It's kind of like a catchphrase for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who else is a favorite? I personally I like those two as well. I think those might stand out. But with this third episode, I'm starting to like Crosshair because he is such an evil villain. If you think
Mm.
about all of the villains throughout Star Wars, Crosshair is just he has no mercy whatsoever now.
You're
Like he's
Yeah.
right.
and you've sort of I mean with Anakin that's sort of the same thing as where you saw him as a little kid and you got to really like him as a hero and then he turns bad. And Crosshair, you saw a little bit of that as well. You got to see him as a hero and then he just turns so evil and just without any mercy whatsoever.
So true. It's really
Yeah.
tragic.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like him because he's kind of funny.
You think he's funny?
He's funny?
Yeah.
I don't know
I
about
don't
that.
think it was very funny when he did what he did to those poor
No, no, no.
civilians.
Yeah.
So, of the 3 episodes, which one have you liked the best?
Hmm. I really like the first one.
Yeah, the first one was sort of like movie length. It was kind of like
Definitely.
kind of similar to how they set up the Clone Wars series, where they started with a movie and then went into the series. And so, yeah, we got to see a lot of really cool things in the first episode. One of my favorite things was seeing Caleb. And
Oh
Bouncing Bird,
yeah.
do you remember who Caleb turns out to be?
No.
Turns out to be Kanan from
That's
Star Wars
right.
Rebels. So he changes his name and he so I think that he's probably going to come back later in the series. I think that was just sort of a tease
I think so too, for
for
sure.
for what we got to
Mhm.
see. So let's go over some of the things in this episode that we think are going to sort of foreshadow future episodes in the season.
Mhm.
So what do you think would be like something from this episode that's going to give us a clue
Well,
for
I
future
think
seasons?
I think Omega's connection with the snow dragon is really gonna turn into something.
That's true. Yeah, so Omega is part of the Bad Batch, and each of the Bad Batch has a specific genetic modification that gives them almost like a superpower. So we're not quite sure what Omega's superpower is, but I think that that snow dragon connection is sort of a clue towards that.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that, and I really like seeing that because a lot of times in Star Wars with creatures, first of all, they use the pronoun it instead of they or them or he or she, and it's sort of I think with those creatures it's like you're not ever meant to feel any empathy for them. It's like if they're a scary creature they just need to be killed and that's it. But Omega didn't kill that creature. She did call them it, but she didn't kill that creature, and she I think had some type of connection there, and I think that's sort of a clue for something that could be to come in the future for
I
the
think
rest of
so.
the season. What else do you think was something in this episode? I think this episode, out of the 3, had the most sort of clues and foreshadowing for the
I
series
think
so
so too.
far.
Yeah.
I noticed with Wrecker, he having those headaches. I'm a little nervous. I hope that he doesn't go to the, turn out to be bad like Crosshair.
Oh, that's right. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is really a good clue. Is that Wrecker had that headache, and so it's probably something with his chip, right?
Something's malfunctioning there.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's hope that record doesn't turn bad. I think what might happen is maybe if that starts to happen, they're going to figure out. I think Tech might be working on something
Yeah.
to maybe deprogram the clones so that doesn't
Oh, I hope
happen.
so.
and maybe even we saw how bad Wrecker turned. I think that. Oh, hey Mark, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for joining us, Mark.
So yeah, we're trying this out for the first time. Let us know if there's anything with audio or anything like that that's happening. So yeah, we think that maybe with Wrecker getting that headache, it's going to be a sign of the chip malfunctioning or actually working correctly, and they're going to figure out a way. And so we're talking about how Crosshair just turns so evil. I think that we might possibly see Crosshair, turn back sometime.
I hope not.
Oh, great! Mark said the audio is great, so that's a good. That's good. Because when I did Star Wars Santa, but my audio wasn't so good. So, Olive, what else do you think in this episode would be something that is sort of like foreshadowing, or something you noticed in the episode?
Let me think.
Well, on Camino, the Kaminoans had talked about the clones are sort of. They said that the DNA of Jango Fett was sort of not good anymore, so they needed something to compete with this new elite squad, which I just thought was really funny. That.
Oh, thanks, Mark. I'll try to speak up.
There you go. That's because I'm closer to the mic. We just have the one mic right now. So I think that what's going to happen with the Kaminoans, they need to compete with this new elite squad, which winds up being the Stormtroopers, which is funny because we have Tarkin, who's concerned about the cost of the clones. And so what winds up happening is they replace them with the Stormtroopers eventually, who are just famously known for being terrible shots. So they have like these, genetically modified, like perfect shots, like Crosshair, and they're gonna wind up with the Stormtroopers who can't hit anything. So I just think that's really funny that the whole reason for that is because Tarkin didn't want to spend the money. So they want to make a new clone, and they're gonna look for DNA. So there's theories that maybe they could be a force sensitive person that's going to be the DNA from. So that might be how Grogu works into it. I have another theory. I think that's a really good way for Grogu to work into it. I think maybe they might even work Caleb back into that. They might want to bring Caleb back into that and try to get his DNA to get the force sensitive DNA. So maybe both, maybe neither, but that's just a theory, an idea.
Yeah, right now I'm thinking that maybe I forget.
You forget what you're gonna say? Was that something about Grogu?
No, it was something about Omega. Oh, now I know. I think that Omega will maybe want to live with the snow dragon.
That'd be cute if they wind up being friends. And something I noticed about the second episode, particularly the music. The music was really, really like whimsical, and it almost reminded me of like Disney music. And in Star Wars Rebels, they talked about there's like sort of a nickname for Ezra. They called him Space Aladdin, and I think Omega is almost like Space Elsa. It's it was, I think, very Disney influenced. She's very innocent. Olive, there's another character I think that you said that Omega is sort of like.
Omega really reminds me. I don't know if y'all seen Stranger Things, but she really reminds me of 11. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's some parallels there with 11 and Omega. 11 sort of had like force powers. That was very Star Wars inspired when she was able to lift things. So yeah, Omega is definitely a great character, and I think there's definitely a lot of kid-friendly elements. I think Disney inspired with Omega. But what's so cool about this series is it's really tying in to all the different universes of Star Wars. So we're talking about maybe Grogu appearing. I think he's probably going to appear. He's too popular to leave out, I think.
And I think that Ahsoka would come in.
You think Ahsoka? Yeah, there is that rumor. Yeah, so the voice actress for Ahsoka had sort of teased everybody, and it was totally a tease. It was a troll that she was going to appear. So Mark Hamilton says they might want Omega if she's another Jango clone, so then the imps put a bounty on her. Then Fennec is hunting her. Oh, that's a really good theory. So that's something I was just sort of mentioning, how it's sort of all tying into things. So we're going to have Fennec Shand from The Mandalorian come into this series, and then we also had originally Caleb, who winds up being Kanan from Star Wars Rebels. So it's something for all Star Wars fans, and of course the whole thing is sort of like a continuation of the Clone Wars. So it's really like the greatest hits of Star Wars happening in this series altogether.
Sure.
But I think that's a really good theory, Mark, that if she is another Jango clone, and we have a pretty good idea that with the name Omega, that she's likely the last of the Jango clones, at least. But it seems like they want to be cloning somebody else, and we're not sure who that somebody else is yet.
Yeah, the Bad Batch is just like the Clone Wars.
It is just, well, the first episode even started off with the Tom Kane narration, just like the Clone Wars did. So yeah, definitely very similar. But what's different about it? Do you remember what's different about this versus the Clone Wars, Birdie?
No.
Well, the music, right? That's one of the few things that doesn't have the Star Wars theme right in the beginning. There's actually doesn't really no theme song at all. It just has the title and then just gets right to the story. But at the end, during the end credits, that's when you hear that theme. And it's a pretty good theme. Like I mentioned, the music from episode 2, it's very whimsical, and to me, it's very like Disney-esque. We have Space Elsa.
Yeah.
But who knows? We might see Omega wind up in The Mandalorian or one of the other
Ooh,
projects.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe in the Book of Boba Fett.
That's true. Maybe the Book of Boba Fett. It's a good theory. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for joining us today. We're going to get going, and we hope to see you maybe next weekend to give us our views on episode 3.
Yeah.
Take care.